Hello, good morning, how are you? I hope you're all okay. It's really, really freezing cold in the UK now. It's about 2 or 3 degrees outside and even colder in the mornings. Okay, so did you read We Should All Be Feminists, the book set from last week after our feminist literature? I hope some of you read, we looked at some of it in the session last week. I hope some of you read some more of it and comments in the WhatsApp group, please, as well. So today's session is looking at a topic which is, let's have a look. It is opinion, fact, bias, and fake news. Now think about the book you just read, We Should All Be Feminists. Is that opinions or facts? Is it biased or is it fake news? We have a responsibility when we're teaching to make people aware, make our students aware of the differences between opinion and fact, and bias and fake news. We have a responsibility to ourselves and to our families and to our countries and to our colleagues to think about these things with literature and how we can recognize them and deal with them. So that is the topic for today. Okay, let's start. Of course, please pause the video whenever you need to do the tasks, and you can watch the video as many times as you need to. Okay, so the first slide. What can we believe and what should we believe? Have a look through these points. There are 7 points here. And see what you think. Discuss with a partner. For example, should we believe everything we read or everything our teachers tell us? Does it depend on the teacher, maybe? Okay, pause now for 3 or 4 minutes and discuss what you think. Okay, do you agree with your partners? Which ones did you agree with? I hope you don't agree with A, because that would be ridiculous now. In 2021, there is so much rubbish around. We must not believe everything. What about everything our teachers tell us? I say you shouldn't believe that either. Everything I tell you, you need to check out and think about. You must not accept everything teachers tell you as fact, because it could be opinion or bias. You need to think about it and think critically. What about everything people we respect say? Just because we respect them doesn't mean they are correct. Doesn't mean that things are facts if they say them as facts. D, believe nothing at all? That might be a bit sad. E, maybe for scientists, we only believe things we have proof of, but it's very difficult to get enough proof. F is interesting. We believe everything we would like to believe. And this affects a lot, I think, what we believe in politics, in religion, for example. If we want to believe it, often we do. G, should we believe all scientific writing, all religious writing? Don't know, up to you. I don't think we should believe all of it, but I think critical thinking is much more important than belief of things that are written down. Okay. I want you to read A and B and think about the difference between opinion and fact. I want you to find some facts in A and B and some opinions. Pause now for 2 or 3 minutes to read and find the facts and opinions. Okay, did you find them? So both A and B, they both have facts and opinions. Okay, so for A, the fact is the pulse rate, the blood pressure. This is all from scientific research. The first sentence is fact. It's objective. It uses your empirical senses. Okay. The second sentence is opinion. It's subjective. It's not researched by science. Okay, so first sentence, fact. Second sentence, opinion. If you need more time to read, please pause. Okay, and B, the same thing. So the first sentence is a fact. The second sentence is an opinion. The first sentence is objective. The second is subjective. Pause to read this explanation now. Okay, so normally when we read things, they are a mixture of fact and opinion. And we have to be aware of this and think about which ones are facts and which ones are opinions. So we can ask 3 questions. Can the statement be proved or demonstrated? Can the statement be observed in practice or operation? Can the statement be verified or checked by witnesses or documents? If the answer is no, it's not a fact, it's an opinion. And here we have a table of facts and opinions. Do you agree with this table? Okay. This is the difference. Let's move on to the bottom word here. We've got facts are unbiased words and opinion are biased words. Let's have a look. What is bias? Can you give any examples? What kinds of literature show bias? Pause for a few minutes to discuss with your partner. Okay, did you think of any examples? Now, a very simple example of bias is, for example, when my children were at school, I thought, I would say, the most beautiful child in that class is my daughter. Is that a fact? Is that an opinion? It's a bias because I am the mother of that child, so I think that she is the most beautiful. Would the other mothers agree with me? No, of course not. They would think their own daughter is the most beautiful. So the bias is your personal investment, your personal involvement. What kinds of literature show bias? Well, all of it. They are all written by one person, the viewpoint of that person. And when you see something from a certain viewpoint, that is your bias. They're not facts, are they? In fact, it's very difficult to write anything which is unbiased because you're always including your own viewpoint and you're leaving things out and including things that you select. So in fact, everything is biased in a certain way. So here is some more information about bias. Can you pause and read this now to find out more about why we should be aware of bias? Pause now. Okay. Okay, so it's really important that we are aware of our bias because it can lead to prejudice and then stereotyping. We don't want that, do we? We want to have open minds, so we think about everything new. We want to have critical thinking skills. We want to reduce or try to eliminate any bias we have from our own point of view. We do not want to be prejudiced against anyone or to stereotype people. Okay, so here is a little test. Here we have 10 points. Are they facts or opinions? Pause now and discuss with your partner. Okay, did you agree? Okay, so here is the key. 3 of them are opinions and the others are facts. I've put O for opinion in red and F for fact. Do you agree? Yeah, because A, make great pets. This is something that somebody thinks, and the word great gives that away, doesn't it? Great is a personal preference word. H, is it true that everybody wants to own a dog? Of course not. We know lots of people who don't. So that is obviously an opinion. And the giveaway in J is I think and you should. This is definitely personal opinions. Okay. Another test. So here are 10 facts about Abraham Lincoln. I'd like you to read them and discuss with your partner which ones are facts and which ones are opinions, and pause now. Okay. How many facts and how many opinions? Here is the key. All the red things are linked to opinions. So numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9 are opinions, and the others are facts. So look at the language in number 3, the best. That's an opinion. Successfully in 4, that's an opinion. I'm sure other people would think it was not successful. 5, great man. Yeah, was he? That's an opinion. 6, horrible. That's an opinion word, isn't it? Number 7, wonderful. Was he really wonderful? Or is that a bias? That's an opinion? And number 9, bad, again, is an opinion word. Okay, the others are facts. So we need to look at the language and analyze the language. This is very good in all literature. We need to think about the language that's used to know if it's fact or opinion. Here is a list of many, many words. I want you to pause in a minute and discuss with your partner which of these words are associated with facts and which ones with opinions. Let's do a couple first together. So if you see the word think, would that be a fact or an opinion? It must be an opinion, because if I think that, then it's a personal opinion. Believe, is that a fact or opinion? Again, that's an opinion, isn't it? If you look at the top of the second column, demonstrated, is that fact or opinion? That's more like a fact, isn't it? Because if it's been demonstrated, it's been proved, like a scientific experiment, then we know it should be true. And confirm, yeah, again, this sounds more scientific. Somebody has done the research and they've confirmed it, so that's more fact. Okay, now pause for a few minutes and discuss all the other words. Okay, let's go through them quickly. Okay, so suggest, opinion, perhaps, opinion, probably, opinion, usually, opinion, typically, could be fact, but probably an opinion, should, opinion, must, opinion, claim, this could be a fact, because it depends who is claiming the fact, or it could be an opinion. Argues, could be opinion, depends who is arguing. Suspect is probably an opinion. View, in my view, in his view, that's an opinion. Discovered sounds more like a fact. Scientific research, maybe. According to that person is probably an opinion. Have to, opinion. Good, bad, best, worst, most, least. All of those are opinions, personal opinions. Terrible is an opinion. Fantastic, an opinion. And awful, an opinion. So we're looking for the words which give away the fact that it's an opinion and not a fact. Okay, let's move on. So the literature of advertising often has a lot of opinions because it's trying to sell you something, but sometimes they try to make them look as if they are facts. Here is a paragraph which is trying to sell a house. I want you to look through and find which bits are facts and which bits are opinions. So you can pause now to find that in pairs. Okay, so for example, 4 bedrooms is a fact. That's true, we can check that. But attractive must be an opinion because that's a personal view. Let's have a look. Okay, I've put the facts in purple and the opinions in red. Do you agree with me? We can do this with any literature. We can look at what are the facts, what are the opinions. So we separate them in our mind, and we can help students to do this too. Okay. So far, you have been reading lots of these bits of literature on our course. I want you to discuss the books and discuss, do they contain facts, opinions, bias? What do you think? So we've read Greta Thunberg's book, Malala's. We're reading, or we've read Chimamanda's We Should All Be Feminists. We read a bit of Shakespeare's poetry, remember, in the first session. We read the short story about the lake in Senegal, the Lake Retba murder. That true story about the boy in the wheelchair who climbed Machu Picchu in Peru. And I know you're reading Chinua Achebe's All Things Fall Apart as well. I want you to pause the video for 5 or 10 minutes to discuss some of these examples of facts, opinions, and bias from what you can remember. Okay, pause now. Okay. It's probably a mixture. Greta Thunberg, she obviously comes from a family and an idea and a culture, which is that they have to fight against climate change. And this is young people's views. They are biased probably because they see the fact that we need to change climate as really important. I totally agree with her. but some people might not agree. She includes a lot of facts and opinions as well. Okay. Have a look at these types of text. I want you to pause and read them through to see, do you trust these texts? Why or why not? Pause now. Okay. Do you trust them? Why do you trust them? Okay, because they are scientific texts, and we are usually educated to trust scientific research. Sometimes it's wrong, and always science is advancing, so things are being disproved, but up to now, this is the latest ideas. So these texts, I think we usually trust because they are scientific, full of facts, proved, and as objective as possible. But what about these texts? Do you trust them? Pause to discuss with your partner. Okay, so it depends where we see these texts. It depends who says them. It depends on the context and the reason and the function of the text as to whether we trust them or not. The first examples are all said by Trump, Donald Trump. Do you trust him? I think we know that lots of things he said are not true, so we can safely not believe him in lots of other things he says. Number two, this is an advert, an armed forces advert for the military. Of course, in an advert, they want to sell you something. They want you to believe it. So they say what they think will get you to sign up. So that's an opinion, isn't it? You're fighting in defense of democracy. Is that true? Not always. The third one is from a government letter. Do you believe that? I think they're just saying it. They're saying that 90% of people have paid taxes to try to make you pay your taxes as well. I wouldn't believe that. And the fourth one. Everyone's driving an electric car now. Is that true? Of course it's not. But it's in an advert because the government wants people to think that. They're trying to manipulate our thoughts. And the final one, the advertising for the yogurt, that's advertising again. They're trying to manipulate our thoughts. They're trying to make us think this. Maybe that yogurt is low in fat, but very high in sugar. So it doesn't follow that it's healthy just because it's low in fat. Don't believe everything. Think about the person, the context, the reason, the function of the text, and whether it's not actually fact at all. And now we come on to fake book or Facebook. What is it? Fake book? Facebook? There are so many items on Facebook that are not true. So many that are fake news. We need to really be aware of this and help and educate young people to know what is not true. So I want you to pause for a few minutes and talk to your partners about why we have so much fake news. Have you ever believed any fake news on Facebook? And read the text here as well. Okay, so pause now for 5 minutes to answer those questions and read the text. Okay, so In the text, it says that Facebook is by far the worst, worse than Google, Twitter, Yahoo, Gmail, all of these things. It's the worst social media website for fake news. For example, spreading untrustworthy news sources, wrong political opinions. It's really, really bad. I'm sure you all know lots of examples of fake news. And I know that lots of people spread fake news as well without trusting it, without checking it first. We've got to stop that, haven't we? Because we can't keep believing all this rubbish. So, what is fake news? Why do we have it? Have you ever believed any? How can we stop it? This is really important, especially as our responsibility as teachers. So think about these questions now and pause for a few minutes. Okay, so one example here is COVID-19 misinformation, fake news about COVID-19, and there is a lot of it, isn't there? Okay, but we must not spread fake news because then we're doing everyone a disservice. Interesting topic. It's not easy to get rid of it, but we need to be aware and think about fact, opinion, bias. How else can we stop believing and spreading it? Okay, here is 12 ideas, things that we can do to stop the spread of fake news. I want you to read through and find the 3 most important ones in your opinion. Okay, pause now, find the 3 most important points. Okay. Okay, what do you think? What's really important? I think number 11 is very important. And as we are all teachers, we need to help our students and our families. And we need to be good examples in this. Number 6 is important. Look at the date, look at the time. Number 4, I think, is important. Fact check. Look up on Google to check everything before you share things and copy things. And number 9, don't just rely on one news source. Don't just rely on Facebook. That's a terrible idea. Look up and check in other websites first before you believe them. Good advice? Okay. This is part of our responsibility, and especially when we're looking at literature and reading, I think. Right, the end of this session today. And as your homework, I want you to read as much as you can from different sources. Try and find some, you can find newspapers online, English newspapers, very good practice. The BBC, The Guardian, The Times, for example. Have a look at them. You can read from social media as well, but think at the same time, critical thinking. Academic and scientific journals, you can find a lot online, different types of literature, and find some examples of fact, opinion, bias, and fake news, and put these examples in the literature WhatsApp group. Okay, so together we'll find lots of examples. It's always good practice to read as much as you can as well. Keep reading your We Should All Be Feminists as well, because next week I'm going to give you some more literature to read. Okay. Thank you for today. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you on Friday and next week.